When we first became a step family, just like you, we didn't quite know what we were getting into.
Scarlett and Randall Tandy here from Enjoying Your Blended Family, and we have been a blended family for over 15 years. And not only did we have to figure out how to handle the day-to-day struggles that come with being in a step family, about 7 years in, our biggest fear happened and each of our kids went to go live with their other parent.
We went through seasons of zero connection with each one of our kids, and we had to get really creative on ways to reestablish and reconnect those relationships.
And through prayer and becoming very intentional, God restored our family in true God-like fashion and made it better than we could have ever imagined or hoped for.
So God has called us to help other families do the same thing, to make those connections. So if you're looking for stronger relationships, deeper connections, and more communication, then we believe it truly starts with being intentional and creating these fun opportunities in our family.
Click the link so that you can get quick access to the process that we use to help you find common interests in your family so that you can be more intentional on spending time with your kids, your spouse, and your family as a whole.
We believe you can take the step out of step family and create a blended family that you truly enjoy.
You can find our podcast on Enjoying Your Blended Family on YouTube or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And while you're sitting there, go ahead and follow us on social media.
So when you have more fun, you'll see less problems.
All right. Welcome to part 3. This one is family time. So you've already done your alone thing, then you've done it as a couple, and now you're getting to bring your whole family in. So we're going to take this in a little bit of like 2 parts. First, we're going to break it down and like show you what you can expect on the family night. And then we're going to walk through as if it actually was family night for you and share a screen and show you some things on how to fill that out. But the family night, this one is so important, especially in a blended family, because there's just this stigma that comes with being in a blended family where people feel like they're on the outside. Our kids feel like outsiders. Even the adults sometimes in your own home can feel like an outsider, depending on how different dynamics and relationships are. So this night is really honing in on pulling out and giving your kids a voice in what makes your blended family culture and what that's going to look like, so that you as a family can begin to do more things that just light your heart on fire, more things that you find as you're doing this process that you all have common interest in. And so that they have more buy-in when it's time to plan these things and do these things, they want to be a part of that. And when people feel like you're like actually listening to them, you are letting them contribute, they're valuable in the family, it makes them feel seen, they feel loved, they feel accepted, and it just begins to break down these walls that have been built up in the blended family.
It really does. It gives what I love about this part is you hear from them. And as the parent, sometimes we just can overtalk and really overpower them in a sense. And this is a way to where now you're giving them a voice. And whenever they finally grab that, they start tuning in. They're like, they actually care what I think. And, and we do as parents, right? We really do, but sometimes it's harder for us to show that or for them to feel that. And this is great no matter how long you've been blended. Even if you've been blended for many years, that's what's cool about this is you're now still coming together. You're learning more about each other. Like we said before, you'll never know everything about each other. So this is a cool way to help draw more things out. But then it really does help just kind of build that fun. So this is a fun hangout. We recommend doing this as, maybe over your favorite dinner together. Maybe you're ordering pizza. Maybe you're doing an ice cream bar or something like that. Maybe you're doing it over dessert, but you want to do something fun, set the environment. And that's the cool thing about that is you get to create that. What does that look like for your family? What does your family like doing? Our family loves rib night, so maybe it's making some ribs and doing it over some barbecue ribs or something like that. Just something that they look forward to. So you're going to plan this time. Normally this takes about anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. It could take up to an hour and a half, depending on how much fun you're having.
If it's rib night, it's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while.
It's a cooking process.
It really is. And there's no time limit. There's no time limit on this. Just really, it's what fits for your schedule and your kids. So you want to plan it to where you can have about an hour, maybe an hour, hour and a half or whatever, to where you're able to sit there and you're able to walk through this together. And you're calling it a family hangout. We don't want to call it a family meeting because that's boring. Nobody likes going to a meeting. So we want to go to a hangout. So you're planning a time to where all of your kids can be there at one time. That's really to get the best results. That's what you're looking for. Now, you may be saying, well, I can't get all my kids together, or it's a challenge. We recommend taking, whenever you start this, let me say it this way, after you finish part 2, then within 1 week, you want to plan this family hangout. Now, if you get your kids every other week or something like that, maybe it's 2 weeks. So within 2 weeks, you want to plan this family hangout. Like we said, to get the best results, it's better if you're all together. If you're saying there is just no way, Randall, like
maybe your kid lives in another
state, things like that, then what you can do is just some alternatives is maybe do a video chat to where you've got them up on the big screen, or you've got them up on the laptop or something of that nature, to where they're included. You're all kind of huddled around it as if you're doing a virtual meeting, a virtual hangout. And maybe you could even have some, I'm just thinking of this, you could have some fun with it and say, okay, well, go get your favorite cup of ice cream and we'll have ours, or something like that, to where they're still included as doing fun things together, right? So if that is your family dynamic, then use that. If at all, if like the worst case scenario, maybe you have to do this twice, and you do part of it with part of your kids, and then you do another night with your other kids, if just the moon and the stars never align for you. So, but
hopefully that's not your situation. We pray for you.
Exactly. But we want to throw a few alternatives out. The best solution, the way that you'll get the best results, is definitely being able to plan it all together. So within 1 to 2 weeks after doing part 2, try to plan this to where you've got a night. Maybe it's a Friday night, maybe it's a Saturday day, or whatever is works for you. But you want to plan it, put it on the calendar. Make sure you communicate with your kids. If your kids are older, make sure they don't have plans to go hang out with friends or things like that, but that everyone's earmarking that day for this. If you got younger kids, it doesn't matter, right? So, but you kind of want to do that, and then you want to communicate it over and over and over again.
I was going to say, the one thing he tries to remind me all the time is over communicate with them, that is what the plan is. Because you can tell them 3 days in a row and now it's coming time, and they'll be like, wait, what?
The day of, I plan to go out with my friends, but remember we talked about this. Oh yeah. So, it really does just over communicate, and you want to build the excitement. You want to be like, this is going to be a fun hangout. We're having pizza and ice cream, or whatever that is, insert your family's favorite or what will draw them in. If they're teenagers, food will bring them in. So you may have some teenagers that are, if your kids are older, they may push back a little bit, and they may be like, well, I don't want to come down. I don't want to do that.
Well, and just from
food.
Yeah. Food. And remember too, when it comes to teenagers, like what are popular nights that they like to go out with their friends, and keep that in mind as you're picking a day and stuff, that you're not competing with those things.
Yeah. Maybe you're doing it on a Thursday night or something. And I know a lot of times we get into the mindset of we're the parents and we'll, tell them what to do. And the older your kids get, the more when we do that, it pushes them away. So, when we lead by love and grace, that really draws them in. So it's really powerful with our older kids to be sensitive to them and be respectful, and they'll normally start showing respect back. So it is really crazy. So, but a lot of times you will see the pushback, but food really does work. Draw them in with food. Hey, this night we're having, ribs. Be like, what? All right, I'm there. Count me in. Or ice cream or brownies or, whatever. So you're kind of doing that. And maybe, if they are older, maybe you're not necessarily saying it's a family hangout, because then they might be like, but you're saying, hey, it's family. We're going to have food. And they're like, yes, score. So, they're coming out, the doors are opening and they're coming out going, food. So it might be one of those if that's where you're at with your kids, but have fun with it. So that kind of addresses some of your kids maybe getting some pushback. if you just getting them there, they might be like this too. That's cool. They're there. So, that throughout the night, we're going to kind of
Or
talk
like this.
Yeah, they might be like that. We always say with the family hangout to try to have all phones put away, and even yours. So put your phones away and just have a family hangout. If you get a lot of pushback from your teenagers, don't make it to where it's a big fight. Because then you're totally wiping away what you're doing, right? So you want to present it as, hey, let's put our phones down and put them away, but don't make a big deal out of it. You're trying to get that respect. If they're not quite there yet, you got a lot of pushback, division with your family right there. That's cool. If you see them getting on their phone, sometimes asking them questions, being like, hey, so what do you think about this? Or, hey, what's your favorite pizza? Or, something like that, to where they're having to pay attention. So, sometimes that can draw them in, but really the night, the way it's going to go, the way we have the flow, they might be on their phone, but you might start seeing it dropping down because they're going to start wanting to engage, kind of how this is.
Yeah.
And the craziest things, being youth pastors and working with teenagers as we have before, another thing we've learned with our older kids, they may be doing this, but that's more of a vice. And they're really paying attention. They're really listening.
Yeah.
So they pick up a lot more than we think they do too. So keeping that in mind. So you're going to want to try to keep cell phones away. You're going to want to have the time plan, over communicate it, and really build it up. Do it over something fun, like some type of food activity. Even at the end of the night, whenever you're done, maybe you're all watching a movie together. Maybe you extend it a little further. You can do that too and say, well, once we're done, we want to grab a few things. We want to talk for a minute. We want to eat some pizza. We want to do this. But then after that, we'll all watch a movie, So maybe that's the enticement too, right? So, but it's all fun. I mean, who doesn't like just hanging out with your family watching a movie either? So, that's kind of fun. But so that's kind of what we say. So you're going to plan this night. You're going to build up that communication. Now, the flow of the night is going to be 3 steps. So we got 3 steps in this one: step 7, step 8, and step 9. Okay. So you're going to, once you're there, the first thing you're going to do is, maybe you eat first, but then you do an icebreaker game. So we're going to do an icebreaker game first. That's where you can refer to the 5 family games, that resource. If you don't know of any games to play, we got you covered. There are 5 of them right here.
Yeah. And I was going to say, in these games, they're each designed to pull out some of these things that you're going to be asking here in just a minute when it gets to the next part. It has those built into the game. So looking at the different ones and just looking and seeing, okay, just take into consideration like how old your kids are, if they can read yet or write. There's different ways that you can use this depending on the age of what would work best. But each of them are something that's going to bring y'all together and help figure these things out and find those common interests without them even realizing that's what you're doing in the process.
It is. And one of the big ones is the this or that game. And I think we talked about that before, but really we got our teenagers doing that. Well, they're young adults now. They were having a blast. But even your younger kids, whenever you're saying, this or that, we're doing it to where we're in a room and you got one side, if you like ice cream, go to this side. If you like snow cones, go to this side. Even your little kids are going to be like, oh, I like them all. What do I do? So it really is, is you're going to have your family running from one side to the other. It is a blast. No matter what age your kids are, that's a great game. That's so fun. So things like that.
And it really does, like some things you're like, oh, well, I didn't know, and it gives you those ideas for things in the future. And that's why it's the beauty in it is it's created to be learning that in the process.
And then learning each of your family members. So like part of you go over here because y'all like ice cream, part of y'all like snow cones, just as an example, right? Then you're noticing and they're noticing, oh, y'all like ice cream too? What? What's your favorite flavor? And, and oh, you like snow cones, you don't like ice cream. So, you're starting to notice that and kind of the common interest that not just as a whole family, but as individuals too, you're starting to see that. So it really, but then too, you're running to both sides and you're just having fun because it's a game.
And we built in there where there's some bonus games in there too, where there's like food related. So, cause who doesn't like to talk about what kind of foods they like. And then there's even a travel version of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were just blown away at some of the answers that our kids, which are young adults, were giving when it comes to travel. So when you're planning your family vacation, you're getting an idea of like, oh, this is the kind of stuff they prefer.
Yeah. So it really is. It's fun. We got you here. So these are great games. You can pick one of them out to do for the game night, and then do the others just other game nights that you have as a family, or family nights that you have. So, we're going to talk more about that and how you can start creating things like that. So you've got that resource. So you'll do a game, and then I'm kind of looking at my notes here. Then you're going to really start out. We always say pray. That after you do the game, you're going to kind of come sit down. We're going to do a walkthrough of what this whole night's going to look like in a second, but you're going to want to pray with your family. We always encourage you to pray. And whenever you're exposing your kids to prayer too, right? We're teaching them kind of what prayer looks like, and really going to God and giving God all the thanks and everything for being able to hang out tonight. So you're going to want to pray. We'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. But if you don't, if you're not really comfortable with prayer or things like that, we've got you covered too. We've got a scripted prayer in here for each part. So you can go to part 3 and you can read part 3's prayer. You can pray that prayer. You can just say it and say, hey, we're going to pray, and then read that, and boom, you got it. The whole thing is scripted as well. So you can just read the script. We're going to go over here in a minute, just kind of as it would flow, to kind of show you that. But it's all right there. So you can kind of follow along on that. But you'll pray first, and then you're going to ask your family, hey, we want to have more fun. We want to have more fun together. We want to not be so serious all the time. We want to be able to create more just fun moments. Is that cool? And then, all of them will be like, yes, thank you.
Please.
That's what I've been praying for. Is that my parents like, no, golly. You're like, wait a minute. So it is one of those that you're asking them, right? You're starting to draw and pry information from them and say, I want to hear from you. And then they perk up, and it's cool. And so you'll start asking their interests, right? You're going to go one by one. Normally we say pick your kid that is more outgoing, because that kind of gets the ball rolling. If you go to your quietest child and you start with them, they're going to be like, what do you do? So you don't want that. You want to keep the vibe, because you just had a fun game. You ate some food, you ate some dessert or whatever, and you just had some fun. You set a really fun vibe. Now we're all just hanging out and talking for a minute. So that's the cool part. So you want to start with your most active child. We all have one of those, and most of us do. And you start there and you just say, so what's your interest? What do you like doing? What's a small interest that you have? Like something that doesn't cost money, that doesn't take a lot of time, and go. And so you'll want to hear that. And if they get stumped, you're going to pull up your list, because you and your spouse already had your list of what you believe they like. So if you need that as a starter to say, well, don't you like, you can have that list with you, whether it's on your computer, your phone, or you have a printed copy. Don't you like doing that? Oh yeah, I like doing that. Well, what else? What else like that? Things like that. What do you like? And, just really get their ball rolling. But we always like to emphasize, let them do most of the talking. As parents, we can overshadow them so much. And if we do most of the talking, it really does shut our kids down to where they just become a wall and they're like, oh no, you tell me. We don't want that. We want to keep that open communication. So more questions forces them to kind of add to it, and be cool with silence. Sometimes it's like, so what do you like doing? It's cool. Let there be silence. You don't have to talk, because a lot of times what happens is it takes them a minute, but they're thinking. And they're like, are they really paying attention? Do I really want to answer? And then we talk. And then they're like, shut down. Okay, no. But, it's like right there. And we give them enough time to where it's like, I like doing this. That is awesome. And then you're writing it down and you're like, what else? Now they're sitting there saying, man, they're paying attention. They're actually writing it down. They're taking this serious.
Yeah. And keep an open mind too, because they may say things and you're like, you don't like that. But don't say that because
right.
maybe they do. Maybe it's something that they do at school or they've done at their friend's house or something. And it's just something y'all haven't done as a family, or it's something that they want to try doing and they're interested in it.
Yeah.
So keep an open mind and be accepting to the things that they say.
And maybe ask questions like if it's something totally off the wall, it's like, okay, all right, I hear you. What is that? Like, what do you do there? And be interested. Be interested in what they're saying. Now, a disclaimer: you might get some really silly answers too. That's fine. Write down the silly answers. Go with it. Laugh, but write it down because in the middle of all that, you're going to get some serious ones too. So you'll be able to pick between those later. But if you show them, no, that's stupid, then you just shut them down. They're not going to talk, right? So we want to be engaged. We want to be excited and be like, they're going to, I like throwing hammers at the wall. Okay. Don't do that in our house, but we could do axe throwing. That would be awesome, and reroute something like that. So, it is really being engaging, not shutting them down, but it's going to be silly, right? And depending on your kids, it might be really silly, and that's fine. That's awesome. Those are your kids, and that just kind of brings some fun to the room.
Yeah, and the laughter. And that's the goal. We want the more you laugh together. Oh man, it really is. We say this all the time, but it really is medicine for the soul.
It is. So be open-minded to that. Don't shut them down. And another thing is don't let the other kids shut any of your kids down either, right? You want to, if someone looks at them, one of your kids, that's stupid. Like, no, that's a good thing. That's cool. I didn't know that about them. Reroute that. You don't want to say, no, quit saying we don't say that in our house, but reroute it, right? And just turn everything to the positive. Really try to grab it, turn around the positive, throw back at them, right? So that's really kind of the goal. It may not happen precisely, but that's really our goal, is to keep it positive, keep it uplifted, but keep it respectful. And if we show respect, now we're modeling that to what that looks like. They're more likely to show respect.
Yeah.
But the moment that we're like, no, we're the parents, you do what I say, you just killed the vibe in the room and everybody's shutting down, right? So really try to make this fun, but reroute everything, keep it light and keep it fun, keep laughter going. That's the key. So keep that. The other key is whenever you're in this point, if it's my biological kid, I'm asking the questions. If it's her biological kid, she's asking the questions. That way it takes any, there's still maybe some walls, some trust issues, things like that going up. So there's no intimidation there. So that kind of keeps that wall broken down on that, and you'll get better answers. So kind of do it that way. And then, you'll say, okay, what's small things? Okay. Yeah, cool. You're writing them down or you're typing them. Awesome. What else? That's it. Okay, sweet. That's great. What about the big things? What about the things that you that might cost money that you want to go do? That might take some time, cost some money. Then go through that and you're writing them down. Oh man, okay. Things that you haven't done, you want to try, and you just exhaust that. And then once you're done there, then you go to the next kid. Okay, what about you? What's about the small things? And you see the flow. So you're kind of doing that with all of your kids. And then at the end of that, now we're going to the last step is now you're asking the family interest. What do y'all like doing as a family? This is going to be collective. This is going to be, you're asking the whole room saying, now we just want to hear from everybody, just so shout them out. Like, what is something you like doing as a family together? Like, what would you, what's that thing? It could be small, it could be big. What do y'all like doing? And then be quiet and just let them start bouncing ideas, and they're going to say some silly things and everybody's going to be laughing and stuff like that. So that's the fun part of it, is now you're getting to hear, what do they see family as? What is what's important to them that we do as a family? And that's powerful, because if we can start creating those moments, that's going to make them feel loved and accepted in their home. That's going to make them want to be here with us, and it's just, we're creating that fun environment. So that's the power in this and the beauty. So we're doing that. And then last, you're going to ask, about the family interest. What about vacations? Where would y'all want to go on vacation? And just hear that, and hear, because now that's,
who doesn't like dreaming about vacations?
Yeah. Too? So now you're getting ideas about places that you may be able to go to as a family that they have interest in. Because if everyone goes, maybe y'all plan a vacation, is like, we're all going to Hawaii, and your kids could care less about the beach. So you're spending all this money and all this time trying to go to a place that they have no interest in. You're not going to accomplish anything, as opposed to you going to a place that everyone wants to go to. Now you've got everyone's attention. You got everyone coming in on that. Now the money you spend on something big like that is well worth. You're getting such a greater return. So we want to kind of keep those in mind too. If your kids have no interest in Hawaii, maybe you and your spouse do. That's a spouse's vacay. Now you and your spouse go and you're going to do a couples thing, or something like that. So that kind of helps guide you to what you're trying to create with your family. So that's the cool part about it. So, and then at the end of that, you wrap up saying, man, that was awesome. Love it. Love hearing from y'all. We're just really want to take all this and start seeing how we can create more fun here. Now let's watch a movie, or something like that. Right. So that's kind of the flow of what it's going to do. So,
and it seems kind of simple in a sense, like you're just asking them what they like, but it is so powerful hearing from them, writing these things down, the things that we have taken for granted that we know about our kids, or that we didn't know, like we had no idea, and sharing your heart with each other on the things that you love. And people start hearing, oh, you like that? And they're like, oh, I like that too. And they're just starting to make those connections in there. So again, it might seem so simple, but this in itself can catapult the way your family, it is literally creating a culture when you use this information, creating a culture for your family of just where you're going from here on out.
Yeah. No matter how long you've been together, if you're just starting this powerful, if you've been together, we stumbled into this for our family, and we saw the power in it. Right. And so that led us to create this, saying, this is powerful. This is good. And, this is what we've done. And we've seen so many blessings. And then we kind of went back through the process with our older kids again, and we learned more. And that was the cool thing about it. It's like, man, this is so great. We continue learning, and now we know more of what to do. So this is not a one and done type thing. This is something that you can use over, and maybe your kids are younger now. You may want to do this when they become teenagers, and use this format again to where you're learning more things, because the more they get exposed to things, the more they're going to like different things and want to do more things. So really at the end of this, as we say, this is the starting point. You're creating these lists we're helping you to create. This is a starting point of where you're at now. It's going to grow. You're going to be able to add to this, but now you got a process of creating fun opportunities together to where you are creating more bonds, you're creating more connection, and you're doing it through fun, and you're doing it through laughter. That's the power of it. So,
and it's never too late. Like even with your adult children, because that's the stage that we're in now, you can still use this. Like I used to have in my head that when the kids turned 18, my job as mom, his job as dad was over. And really our relationships are just blossoming into something even more incredible now that they're older. So don't think like, dang, I wish I would have had this, back then. Yeah, it would have been nice to have it back then, but it's not too late to put it in motion now.
For sure. So that's the beauty of this. Like I said, we're so excited. So are y'all ready to walk through? So we're going to kind of show you what the night's going to look like. We're going to do it as if our kids are right there in front of us. Okay. So you're going to kind of get that concept. So we're going to have our 3 kids. We're going to have Riley, Devin, and Riley Rain. Now, disclaimer, I think we've said this, but if we haven't, we have 2 Rileys in our family. They're spelled different. But when we got together, we learned, hey, you have a Riley and I have a Riley. That's weird. So yeah, our whole family for 15 years has been like Big Riley and Little Riley. We gave them a complex. It's so sad. We didn't mean to, but no, we try to say Riley and Riley Rain to distinguish between the two. So just kind of so that that flow.
All right, so I want to stop and pause right there because Randall's fixing to go into describing the resources that go along with what we're going to be sharing all summer, called How to Enjoy Your Blended Family. And as he goes into the details about each one of those things, I want to make sure you know where you can get them. So be sure to check out the show notes or look in the caption if you're watching this on YouTube and click on those links. I'm going to go ahead and put in the PDFs free for you. This is all part of a course that actually costs like $100, but for this summer, we're giving it to you just so that you have the resource for your family so that y'all can be at your best this summer. You also have the option to get the ebook / the audio version of the ebook, which is available on Amazon. So if you want the full package with it all laid out there in front of you, go ahead and check that out so you can just sit there and scroll and read. Or if you're more like me where you like to listen to the audio, go ahead and purchase that. That's the only thing that costs, but everything else, the things that he talks about, it's gonna all be in the links below that you can click on and download for easy access, so that when you get started over the next few weeks to follow the enjoy the journey process, the how to enjoy your blended family comes with a process built into it called Enjoy the Journey. That is the resources that we're giving you today. Now, before we get back to it, I want to share with you another resource that we found that you're going to want to utilize for your step family this summer. Check it out. All right, summer is right around the corner. And I know for some of y'all that might even be giving you a little bit of anxiety because it means maybe your stepkids or maybe even your biological kids are going to be home more, or maybe the opposite of that. And they're going to be gone and you feel like you're going to be missing out on opportunities to spend time together as a family. So I wanted to share with you something that's going to help you be more intentional as a blended family. And I've shared this before, but I just want to reiterate it again. It's something called Get Out Pass. Purchase the Get Out Pass one time for each of your family members, and then for an entire year, you have access to get into all of these different locations. It's different for every city that is partnering with them. You get into that place at least one time for free. If they're doing a special discount, if you use the code BFAM, you're going to go spend money anyway, so why not save money right now?
So sweet. Y'all ready to get started? We've planned the night. We've led the excitement. We planned it. It's going to be on a Friday night. We've already checked with our kids a week ago and they're all good. And then throughout the week, we've been, oh, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? We're doing family hangout. We're ordering pizza and we're eating ice cream. And they're like, what? Sweet. Let's do this. So we knew Friday night's it. So now we're here Friday night. And we all came together. Pizza just came in. You're smelling the pizza in the room. You're like, it's just so good. Everybody's chowing down, just having a good time. And then we're eating a little ice cream. And it's like, hey, all right, we've got a game. We want to do a game. Sweet. Can we do a game? They're like, yeah. Okay, cool. So we're going to play this or that. Awesome. So what this is going to do, we're all going to stand up. And whenever we say, do you like this? We're going to point to one side, or do you like that? We're going to point to the other side. Whichever one you like, you got to run to that side. Okay, cool. Sounds fun. So we'll start that game and we'll go, okay, so we like do you like ice cream? Or do you like snow cones? And then we're running to this side or we're running to that side and our kids are going this way or that way. And then we call out another one. Do you like this or do you like that? And then everybody's like, clashing and laughing and it's like, oh, you like this, you like that. And so we're kind of doing that and we're learning more about each other, and we do that for about 10 minutes or so. And it's like, man, all right, that was cool, that was fun. So let's come sit down for a second. Can we talk just for a second? So sweet. So everybody comes, our kids sits down and then it's like, you know what? Listen, we just want to start having more fun in our family. We really do. We want to, I know sometimes we can get really serious and sometimes there's like problems that we can face and everything, but we want to create more fun. Does that sound cool? Y'all interested in that? Okay, sweet. So really, but the way that we can do that, the only way that we know how to do that is we need your help. We need y'all's help. So can y'all help us out a little bit, like giving us some information of what y'all like doing and things like that? Sweet. Awesome. So by that time, they're all like, yeah, oh, sweet. Yeah, I want to have more fun. And so we're kind of doing that. And it's like, okay. But before we get started, listen, we love going to prayer. We want to just really pray that God shows up and everything and helps us. Is that cool? Can we pray real quick? Y'all good with that? All right. So Father God, we thank you. We thank you that we get to come just as a family and be able to hang out. And as we're trying to figure out more fun things to do together, can you help show us? Can you help show us what each one of us likes doing and be able to talk about it, and not just talk about it, but to come away from this night just knowing more about each other, because we really do. We want to be able to have more fun. And so we pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. And so we pray real quick, and then we say, okay, now listen, we want to know what you like doing. Like, we know what we like doing, but we want to know what you like doing. Is that cool? Can we do that? So I'm just going to start with we'll go to each one of you and ask you, and then we're going to write things down. Sweet. So you see how I'm kind of doing that? I'm asking a lot of questions because I'm trying to get them to go, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Because whenever they're doing that, they're kind of buying into, okay, yeah, no, okay, yeah. I've asked their permission, right? And so once they say yes, then they're more bought into what we're doing. So I'm like, okay, cool, sweet. So I'm going to start with my daughter, Riley Rain. We'll start with Riley Rain. Now, we kind of shuffled our kids up a little bit. So whenever we're doing this part, we've got our two sheets. I've got my sheet and she's got her sheet, and it's got our kids on it, right? So I've got my biological kids, she's got her biological kids. So in part one, we kind of walked through the sheets, but we put it all together as far as kind of what that would look like. But you each have your own sheets. Like, I've got my interest, and then I've got my biological kids, right? We talked about that. So we're going to share screen on my kid. So we'll do a share screen. So this is kind of sharing. So this would be my kid, right? I have one child coming into this, one biological child, and we kind of mixed up the names and everything for us, but that's fine. And so I have this filled out for my daughter, and I'm talking and saying, okay, so I'm going to Riley, and I'm saying, so Riley, tell me your small interests. Like, what are things that you like doing that don't really cost a lot of money? Like, for me, I like drinking coffee in the morning. That's really fun for me. What is something that you like doing? She may be like,
can I be Riley? Can I be like Riley when she was little?
But I'll be like, what is that small thing? She might be like, I don't know. And then that's where we can use our sheet and be like, well, don't you like TikTok? You like getting on TikTok, right? Oh, I love TikTok. Oh my God. TikTok's so fun. Well, what else? Something like that. And then that opens the door, right? Or maybe I need another leading question, but then she comes and she's like, well, I like art. I like things with, any type of art. And so we're like, okay, sweet. So we're writing art down, and then it's like, what else? And then she's like, I love taking old jewelry and making it new. I like taking old things. So it's like, okay, that's kind of like repurposing or something like that. So
I was writing upcycling.
Upcycle. There you go. Upcycling. So it's like, okay, cool. You do like doing that, because she does. She likes going to thrift shops, getting things, and then making new things and selling it and stuff like that. So it's like, man, that's awesome. Okay. What else do you like? I like going to parks. Parks are really fun. I like walking around. Okay, sweet. That's awesome. And then what else? That's really about it. And so once you get to that point, it's okay, what about the big things? Like things that cost money to go do? What are some of those big things you like doing? And she's like, oh man, let me tell you, I love buying jewelry. Jewelry is my jam. I love shopping. I love buying clothes. Clothes is like going to the mall, things like that. I really like doing that. And I'm like, okay, cool. I love going out to eat. I love going to new places, restaurants, things like that. It's like, okay, sweet. What else? I love museums. I like checking out cool museums. Oh, that is really awesome. I like museums too. That's cool. So you're doing that. And maybe I like going to the movies. Oh yeah, put that on there. Sweet. And then you're kind of doing that. And it's like, anything else you can think of? She's like, no, that's really about it. Then you can ask, maybe, is there anything you're interested in trying that you've never done before? Maybe pull some of those things out. And then once they're done there, then it's like, okay, sweet. So then that was my only daughter. So I'm like, okay, well, that's it. So now she's got her sheet, and she's doing the same thing now with her child. So she starts with the first one, and she's like, you want to do that one or?
Sure. So then I would lead this one because these are my kids, and just like Randall was saying, it just comes across better and they respond better to it. So I ask, starting with the one that's more outgoing, hey, so Riley, what do you like doing? What's fun for you? And so then
she's like, well, I like longboarding. I love longboarding. So I was like, sweet. So, she's writing that down, and we've already got a few things on there. And maybe she didn't need any leading questions. She's just like, she saw our younger Riley, and she's like, oh, I know how this goes. They're quick to pick it up. So
yeah. And so, okay, awesome. Like, yes. What else? What is something else that you enjoy doing?
I like picking flowers.
All right. I like picking flowers too.
So you're writing that down and.
Okay. So I got those. What about something else? And so then she may like stop like, I don't know. I can't think of anything else. So then I could throw out some suggestions like, well, don't you like playing video games? And then that may start her up like, oh yeah. I love playing video games. And then, so I already have that written down, so I don't have to write it again. Well, what about drawing? I know you like art. Do you like to draw? Yes, I love drawing. And then she may just start adding in all kinds of stuff from that.
I mean, I love a hammock.
I love watching YouTube videos on art projects or something. I love going out in the hammock and chilling outside. Hanging out by the pool. And it's like sometimes once they start going, it just opens up all of these other things that they like as well.
Yep.
And then I would go in and I would start asking her, okay. So that's like the smaller things. What are some things that you like the bigger things, the things that we have to plan to leave the house that might cost some money? And they've heard you do this with the other child. So again, their mind is already stirring there. But if for some reason they were to get stumped, you might throw something out like, well, don't you love going to concerts? And yeah. Oh, I love going to concerts. And I love going to arcades. I love going to museums. And so they just start she starts spitting out all of those answers. So let me try to catch up over here.
Arcades, museums. So she's doing museums, and then she throws out, she loves going to parks, big parks, like not in the city park. She likes going to the big city.
National park.
These parks and stuff. She likes going to the beach. So, she's throwing out all these things that, these big things that take time and might take money to do. So you're kind of exhausting all that. And then once she gets done there, then she would move over to Devon and do the same thing, same process with Devon. We won't go through that because you kind of get the gist of it, but you do that with each one of your kids. And then once you get done with that, now you shift gears and say, that was so awesome, man. We learned a lot more about y'all than we knew, so that's really awesome. Love hearing that from you. So now we want to do something different. What do you like doing as a family? What's something that as a family you wish we would do, or that we would do more of, or something like that? It can be a small thing, a big thing. What do y'all think? What do y'all like doing as a family? Then get quiet. And then, really, this is a good place to really get quiet, because they might be looking at each other like, do I say something? Do I not? Are you going to say something? Are you, and we don't want to overstep and intrude in that territory. So once someone throws something out, then it's like, sweet. So maybe someone throws out, I love playing games, like family game nights. And it's like, awesome. So you're writing that down in, on their column right there, or their row, you're writing down for the family interest. And then one like Devon might throw out, I love watching movies as a family. Movies are really fun for me. Oh, and by the way, I love playing video games together as a family. And it's like, you would. He's our video gamer. He loves video games. So, and we've actually done that before. We brought down his video game system before and played it as a family. So it's been really fun. Those have been fun nights. So, and then Riley might throw out, oh, I love ice cream. Whenever we all go out and get ice cream at an ice cream shop. So, as you're writing that down, and
they might like hear what someone else said. Like, so Riley said ice cream, Devon may pop in and say, I love getting ice cream too. So then you go and you can write that down in his as well.
Write it on theirs too. Because what you're doing now is if the others are like, yeah, that's awesome. Write it in all of theirs. Those are the things you're going to start in the next parts, looking to see what's the common interests, what does the majority of us love doing together. So those are the things. So yeah, as one saying it and the others are agreeing. So y'all like ice cream too? Oh, so sweet. All right. Oh, y'all like having game nights together? Yeah, no. It's like, okay, so we're writing yes, yes, and no in their box, right? So,
and it's maybe some of the same stuff that they just wrote down in their small interest or their big interest. But now this is something that they're saying like they like us to do as a whole. It's not just something that they're particularly interested in, but that they like to do with the rest of us.
So that's the flow. That's it. We can take it. We'll take it off screen sharing now, but you're getting the list. And then the last thing you want to ask them is vacations. Where would y'all like to go on vacation? Like, I know there's a few spots I love checking out, but what would y'all like if we had to do family vacations? Where would you want to go? And you're writing that down in their interest, their family interest column, and you're noting those. That way, someone says Disney World. Yeah, I love Disney World. Okay, sweet. Disney World on all three, and you're writing that stuff down. So where else? Where else would you like to go? So you're doing that, you're grabbing all that, and you're dreaming as a family. You're enjoying talking about anytime we talk about ourselves, we like saying it, right? So how much more do our kids love sitting there saying what they like doing? That's why this is so fun and so powerful. You'll get them talking. Even your kids that might be like this might be like, hey, I like doing this. I like doing that, and the phone's down now and they're engaged. So that's the power behind this and the beauty. So you're doing all that. Then once you're done, you've talked about all that. You can play another game if you want, or you can watch a movie, or you can be like, awesome. Thank you so much. We really do want to make this a fun home. We want to make this just a place that we're all enjoying, and we're doing more things that we all like doing and stuff like that. So thanks for helping. We're going to take all this information. We're going to figure out, what can we do? And so great stuff. Thank you so much. We love doing this. So, and that's kind of it. In night, watch a movie, eat some more ice cream, whatever, put some sprinkles. Sprinkles are really good if you put sprinkles on top. And chocolate, if you do chocolate syrup.
Oh, you're making me want
dessert. So, have fun with it. We can't say it enough. This is really a fun night. And at the end of it, you're going to walk away with laughter. You're going to walk away with more connections, and you're going to walk away with a lot of information. So, and that's kind of what we want to grab. So it's a win-win all the way around. Have fun with it. Like I said, don't make this a miserable thing. Make it a fun thing. So
yeah, if it gets to a point where you're having to choose like to fight a respect issue or just something that comes up, like let's not choose to fight that battle right now. That battle can wait till another day.
Yeah. And if you start throwing out more fun things, or you start talking out about, maybe to the one acting out a little more, well, what do you like doing? Maybe you shift gears a little bit and you get them to pull things out. And so really it's just kind of gauging the room, but trying to keep it all light and uplifted, right? That's the key concept. And if you do that more times than not, everyone's going to engage and everyone's going to have a lot of fun doing it. Keep the silliness. That's fun. That's great. You want that. So that's good. Great stuff. Family night, family hangout. There it is. That's the flow of it. Like we said, we do have the script. If you want to follow the script, there it is. You got that. You got the ebook that walks you through the steps. You've got these videos. You can rewatch them right before you have the game, before you have the family hangout. So things of that, just really, it doesn't have to be like, got to do this, then got to do that. And then it doesn't have to be that. Maybe you skipped a step and then you come back to that step later. That's fine. Or later on in the night, that's fine. Maybe you ask vacations first, that's fine. Just make sure you kind of know what you're asking and just ask them all that night and have fun with it. So it doesn't have to be exact, but this is the information you're trying to get in a fun way. So sweet. So awesome. There it is. Go have a family hangout. Make a fun night of having fun and laughing with your family. Make it fun. Do it. So love you guys. Yeah. That's part 3. Go join part 4. We'll see you there. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has been a blessing and encouraged your family journey.
Make sure you stay connected with us and join our weekly Blended Family newsletter. We send an email out every Friday morning full of support and encouragement.
And when you join, we also want to give you a free gift. So go get yours today. The link is in the show notes below.
Have an amazing day. Remember to enjoy the journey with your blended family, and we'll see you on the next episode.